Okay, we are tweaking the settings. I've got music and special effects down to 25%. Somebody leave a note for me in the comments if the master volume should be that low. I got that set to 33%. I still have the voice set on 100, and on my new recording software, I found a knob that boosts the gain on the microphone. So with that, let's go in and play my new deck, 5-color mono green, which sounds like a paradox of sorts. Contradiction of terms, but all will be explained. Welcome to Tpull's Corner. For the new people, my name is Travis. I'll be your host for the duration. Wow, look at all those cards. Did they put their entire collection in here? This is a mono green deck because I only have green color sources. Only green lands. But I've got all 5 colors represented in the deck. Don't think we need to worry about artifacts or enchantments. Let's bring down Gwenna and see if Gwenna stays. They're doing really good with the Beast Collar. They're not going to attack with the Cankerbloom? I wonder why not. Okay, we got 4, so we bring down Halpak Piper. And if Halpak Piper stays around, we can bring down Titan of Industry and perhaps survive. Taking a lot of damage in the run-up to this, and maybe our only saving grace is that they appear to be having land starvation. Okay, now I've got low life and poison counters. And since they didn't cast a spell, aha, that's what I was waiting for. Now we can cast Titan of Industry. Gwenna gets a counter. If they've got a cut down, they got to use it now. They do have some instant, they have something. We'll take a Rhino and a shield counter on the Titan of Industry. Now I feel like it's okay to block things. Exile Karn Silex, destroy each non-land permanent with value X or less. They can only get rid of a couple of things, but let's just get rid of that now so we don't have to worry about it being a threat later. And we can cast another spell with Gwenna. That'll be 2 spells. We whiff completely. There's where all the rest of my land is. 5 lands out of 6. And we'll go ahead and strike in with the Rhino Warrior. They should be willing to block with the Skull Dweller at this point. All they've got is 1 and 2 mana spells. Is that all that's in 200 cards? Is land and 2 colors, 1 and 2 mana spells? They're holding on as if they've got one other thing they can still do. Okay. Let's see. I could bring down the Piper with this and not cast a spell this turn. And that would give me 3 activations, which would be awesome. 1, 2, 3. And so I can activate this, draw a card. Send in the Rhino again. See if they're willing to block yet. They can just block with the Beast Collar. That's really an oopsie on my part. Okay, they spot it. I'll just tell them. Oops. But I get 3 activations. And I think we need a Coglin Yadaro. It's a nice one. I can cast that with Gwenna already. There's an Atraxa. They'll see that we have it. What else do we get? And, ooh, a Hoarding Broodlord. You'll notice that we have more than just green colors now. We've got all 5 colors in our hand. And what do we want to do? I can cast this puppy now with Gwenna. We'll fight the Beast Collar and get rid of it. We will get counters to be put somewhere else. It's fine. And then we're going to attack with everybody else. Except for Gwenna. That's lethal, so they've got to block some of these. Titan of Industry has a shield counter, so the Death Touch will not matter. We'll get 1 more poison counter out of this. And Gwenna, yes. I know we lose the extra copy of Gwenna, but I've cast 2 spells, and we trigger these all again. So if my opponent casts any spell at all, they're going to be in for trouble. The end. Get rid of Titan of Industry. I've only got like 2 in the deck, I think. So well, I had lethal on the field, so I was starting to play with my food. They're not going to hang around for that. Let me go ahead and take you into the full deck and show you what we're doing. What I did recently on one of my last decks was I did a variation on a theme that I've done for years. I used the 4 triplets. My theme was to take a deck that had no green mana in it and put 1 big green creature in it. I changed it from just having 1 big green creature to having 4 copies of the same creature, which was Gruff triplets, which was kind of fun. And so I did like the mirror opposite this time. Instead of having 1 big green creature with no green mana, I used only green mana and had a bunch of big creatures with all the other colors. So I've gotten to 61 cards because I just got a copy of Smuggler's Surprise from Thunder Junction. And you can see for the +5, you may put up to 2 creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. So that kind of fits with the theme of the deck. So we're going to see if I ever get a chance to use it. But here's the basic idea. We've got Halpak Piper. The spell can't be countered, so I don't need to worry about blue. For only 2 mana, I can put a creature card from my hand onto the battlefield. So I don't need anything other than 2 green to get one of these creatures down. It doesn't matter that this is 3 other colors that I don't have. Halpak can bring it down. If I don't have Halpak Piper, I've got Gwenna, Eyes of Gaia. You can tap and add 2 mana in any combination of colors. If you bring a creature spell with power 5 or greater, Gwenna also gets a +1 counter, and you can untap it. And so if you've got extra mana and another creature, you can cast a couple of creatures with Gwenna per turn. One of the cool things is I've got a copy of Trumpeting Carnosaur in here, and it costs 3 to discard it and deal 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. I don't have red, right? But with Gwenna, you can spend to activate abilities of creature sources. Just in case you didn't know, this is a fun tip. This card works even though the card that you're activating is in your hand and not on the battlefield. So just a little tip, a little combo action if you want to keep that in mind for teaming up Gwenna with some other stuff in your hand. You can use her ability to go ahead and tap it, get whatever color you need, and activate whatever's in your hand. So that could be a nice surprise. I know that's not a commonly known type thing, so I just want to point that out, especially for newer players. Okay, so I've got 2 different ways of bringing things down. You'll notice that I made things difficult on myself, though, because I have 2 copies of Lord Xander. That's 3 different colors that are not green, so Gwenna can't bring Xander down in and of himself. But I do have some ramp here with 4 copies of Invasion of Zendikar, and if I transform that into Awakened Skyclave, the Skyclave has haste. It can tap for 1 mana of any color, so if I have Gwenna and a Skyclave, I can cast anything here, including the 1 card that I spent a Mythic Rare on, Atraxa. So I wasn't getting it. It just wasn't being given in the rewards for the entire year, so I broke down. I've got 1 copy of Atraxa now. I get to play with Atraxa. Everybody else has. Why not me? Okay, so Howlpack Piper can get things down. Gwenna can get things down. What if I don't get those cards? I've got a triple redundancy built in here. Okay, not just the 1 copy of Smuggler's Surprise to put creature cards down onto the battlefield. I've got Invasion of Ikoria. It's a battle siege for 2 green and X. You can search your library and or graveyard for a non-human card with mana value X or less and put it onto the battlefield. So there's 2 different ways I can use this. I can't go get Howlpack Piper because Howlpack is a human. Even though it's a human werewolf, it's still a human, so I can't go get it with Invasion of Ikoria. I can go get a Gwenna. So for just 5 mana total, I could go get Gwenna, put it down on the battlefield, and be ready to go and rip with all the rest. Or if I have a ton of mana, I can go get anything. Like if I want to go get a Galta, I need 8 plus the 2 green, so I need 10 mana. I could just go get Galta and put it straight on the battlefield with this card. Why do I have a triple redundancy in here? It's because of the way Arena has treated me in the past. And it treated me this way recently with the deck I just did, the 4 triplets. And what happened is after I stopped recording and I published the video, I played a few more rounds with it and I lost every round. I lost about 6 rounds in a row. This despite the alleged 50% success ratio that you're supposed to have. I need Encroaching Mycosynth and Arms Race both on the battlefield so I can bring down my Gruff triplets, right? That's the winning combination of the deck. I always start with 1 or more copies of Gruff triplets, which is normal because it's like the most expensive card in the deck, and Arena does that to you all the time. That's part of my calculation of why this shouldn't be a tough combo to get, because you're usually guaranteed to at least get 1 triplet in your first 5 rounds. I was getting 1, 2, 3 copies of Encroaching Mycosynth throughout the entire match, and Arms Race disappeared. Completely and utterly disappeared. And I have ways to dig through this deck, and I was able to dig through, like the first time I had like 34 cards left I had dug through and no Arms Race. The other times I was getting to 30 cards. I would dig through half my deck. I have 4 copies of Arms Race in the deck. There's no Arms Race in the top half of my deck for 6 matches in a row. And I would get it like once when it was too late and I was going to die. And so what happened is Arena somehow, their artificial intelligence algorithm was able to identify my combo, and I was winning too much and it got rid of my combo. It buried it just like that. And I'd had this happen to me multiple times before. One of the latest ones, one of the most memorable, was with Arcane Bombardment. I have 3 copies of Arcane Bombardment. I built a deck around it, and I was winning quite handily, and then Arcane Bombardment disappeared. And so I've got a whole bunch of instants and sorceries that are not enough to win the game in and of themselves, right? So after about 5 losses in a row, I turned on my recorder, and I recorded a game, and I had to dig through my deck until card number 48 to get my first Arcane Bombardment. That's right. The 3 copies of Arcane Bombardment were all in the bottom 13 cards of my deck. That's how much Arena buried them. And I had some comments on the page about, oh, you have one game that this happened to you. Whoop-de-doo. I don't know if I introduced it properly in the video. I had lost 5 or 6 times in a row before I thought to record the game. When I hit record, for those of you who've been around for a couple of years with me now, you know I don't have editing skills worth jack. Not that much yet. I hit record and it goes. Whatever we get is what we get. So I wasn't guaranteed that this was going to happen to me again. But it just happens that I happened to hit record. I recorded a game. It was like the most egregious bearing of the Arcane Bombardment out of all 6 or 7 battles. But, the reason I turned on the recorder was because this card disappeared on me. And Arms Race disappeared on me recently. So what I decided to do, I started with Halpak, Piper, and Gwenna. And I decided in case Arena decides to bury my Piper or something, and just stop giving me that card. Maybe they bury both of these. They're not going to bury 3 different cards. I've been playing Arena Online for about 3 years. I've never had it hide 3 different cards on me so far. So that's why we're doing this. What else do we have to help me out with this? Arena started land starving me, not giving me my 4th land. So I put 1 copy of Bushwhack in there, so if I'm stuck on 3 lands, I can go get my 4th land. To take care of artifacts, enchantments, or creatures that are flying, I have 2 Atraxas Fall and 2 Broken Wings. And just in case they play a battle, Atraxas Fall can take care of that. I've got Conduit of Worlds, so I can play lands from my graveyard, and I can get things and cast them from my graveyard as well. For creatures, I do have some green creatures. I've got Cleanup Crew, I've got 1 Brambleworm to give me life, and I've got 2 Titans of Industry. And I've got a big old bomb with Galta Stampede Tyrant. If Galta enters the battlefield, I get to put any number of creature cards from my hand onto the battlefield. So, nice little 1-2 combo with Halpak, Piper, and Galta to suddenly get a whole bunch on the board. The other creatures, Cruel Grimnarch. When it enters, each opponent discards a card. If they can't, I gain 4 life. Discover 5 with the Trumpet and Carnosaur, or removal, because I don't have much interaction. Here's my interaction. Coglin Yodaro. I usually use this to have him fight a target creature I don't control. 3 copies of Dusk Mangler. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature, discards a card, and loses 4 life. They have to do all 3. If I do this as a casting spell with Gwenna, I have to choose one of those 3 costs as an additional cost to cast the spell. If I put it out with Halpak Piper, or get to bring it down with Galta, something like that, or I cast it with Invasion of Ikoria, it doesn't matter, right? It just comes right out onto the battlefield. I don't have to pay the additional cost. We have Lord Xander. When it enters the battlefield, opponent discards half the cards in their hand. If it attacks, I mill half their library, and if it dies, they lose. They have to sacrifice half their non-land permanents they have. It's always rounded down. And, of course, the 1 copy of Atraxa, which probably needs no introduction at this point in the game. It's pretty infamous. But you'll notice that I do have, because Gwenna can't do Lord Xander or Atraxa by itself, I have made things a little bit difficult for me. I did that on purpose. I didn't want to make a deck that's too easy, right? This is not a deck to go take into ranked. Okay, that's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to do some jank, and the Gruff Triplets was a little too easy for me. So I just wanted to make this a little bit more challenging, stretch my brain, make me think about if I couldn't do it with the easy way, how could I still do it? And that's when I hit upon using Zendikar. And so I've done it in my playtesting already that way, so it can be done. And finally, we have Hoarding Broodlord, 3 black mana. Also, I would need more than just Gwenna to put this down. But also, I could do Convoking, and I could tap some of the creatures already on my battlefield. So if I'm short on energy somehow otherwise, I could still also get this card down, and then I could go search for a card, which maybe I need a replacement Gwenna or another Halpak Piper to keep things going again, or maybe I just want to bring a Galta on. That kind of thing. For the lands, I do have 1 Argoth, so if I have extra mana, I can seek it into creating bears. It doesn't matter if I mill the cards, especially if I have Conduit of Worlds, because I can just bring them out of the graveyard. 2 Bosidius to take care of non-basic lands, probably. 4 Hidden Nurseries, and 4 Hunter Mazes for card draw, and 2 Filler Runes. So that's it. Instead of 1 big green creature, or 4 copies of 1 green creature, with no green mana, We have only green mana, but we want to be able to cast each and every color that there is in the deck. All 5 colors. I chose Atraxa because I was looking for a big white creature, and I didn't find anything that really attracted me for the theme in this deck. But Atraxa has white for part of the summon cost, so I broke down and burned a mythic rare, and yeah, that's what happens. They saw my name, they got scared, they ran away. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Cards! As we wait for another opponent, we remind you, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. It's free. You can get a free subscription. And whether you're returning or new, we ask you to like the channel. Or at least like the video. And thanks for sticking with me for my dying computer and all the hesitations and hiccups. The new computer is working out very nicely, and hopefully the audio's a little bit better. And I will continue to rely on your feedback to tweak it the next time or two until you tell me that we're good. Okay, it's turn 3 opponent. You got to do something. My opponent's name is Pulp. Why did you choose Pulp as your username? Ooh, counters, eh? Alright. Do not get rid of the Piper. Thank you. They didn't need to put that on the elephant. They could have just kept it on their knight. Don't have a combat spell. Don't have a spell that fights my Piper. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Activate. Let's bring down Xander. Discard 2 of your cards, please. And since I'm not casting a spell, it's going to flip to Knight, and we're going to trigger the Wild Song Howler. Okay, what did we get rid of? Mesa Cavalier and a Giant Growth. Okay. Trigger. Let's take a Galta, shall we? Galters are oh so nice. It seems like they're bringing a knife to a gunfight. That's kind of what it feels like. Cast a second spell, please. Please. Pretty please. Oh, please. We're blocking. If they have... I'm hoping they have another Giant Growth they're willing to use. If you're willing to attack, you're going to have to lose a creature. What? No. What? What? What was that? What am I supposed to do now? Besides mill half your deck. Okay, they jump block that. One spell. We don't exactly care about that. Come on through. Is that all you're gonna do? Okay. What am I gonna do? Death Touch? Using Gwenna. Discard a card, please. Tough choices. Storm the Seed Core. That's a nice card for them. I can't really... Okay, so do I attack or not? Yes, I do. Down to 12 cards. They're losing resources. They should want to jump block. I'm just trying. They have cooped up. They could stop one of my spells, but it looks like they lost at least 3 of them. Are they taking the damage? They're taking the damage. Okay. Still not able to convert my Howler back so I can bring things down. Beast Collar. Okay. Second spell? Or an attack? Do an attack. Do an attack. Alright, we're just going to do this just to show you. We get red by using Gwenna. Get rid of the Beast Collar. Boom. No counters yet there. And we can do 2 spells, so why not? Let's do this for 0. We're just going to put the battle down there on the field. Search your graveyard, doesn't matter. And then we use Atrax's Fall to get rid of the Simian Simulacrum. And then I think we go ahead and just attack here with Xander. Down to 6 cards. They should block it with the Trumpeter. They don't! That was an easy one for you. Oh, I thought they were going to give that to the Fairgrounds Trumpeter. Okay. That goes away. Alpec Piper finally brings down Galta. And we get to bring down the other 2 as well. I gain 5 life and look for a card. What card do I want to look for next? Well, let's have fun. I can't bring that down, can I? What are we at? Let's go ahead and swing in with everybody. Because we now have Zalortha, and I can assign combat damage as though it weren't blocked. Yes. So I lost Zalortha, but final score 15 to -9, and I had an Atraxa in the hand. The deck is good. We're leveling up. They're trying to trick me. Arena wants me to go undefeated in the video, so I'll think it'll work in ranked, and I'll take it into ranked, and then I'll get the pants beaten off of me. Okay, let's look at all the expensive stuff we have. Missed a land drop. Are we going to miss more than one? Opponent does not miss a land drop, and we do. Look at that, folks. I'm so surprised. We did win like 3 in a row, right? So, yeah. I mean, we'll hang out. We could get rid of a creature and maybe bring it back with Conduit of Worlds later. It just depends on... Oh, they're getting something from outside the game, maybe? Doppelgang, it's that kind of deck, is it? This could be really disgusting for us. Because they'll just copy our target permanents, basically. How much mana do they have already? Hang on, what was that? Open the way. 1, 2, 5, 6. So they could do a couple of copies of whatever I'm putting out. Yeah, that would be bad. Let's just ramp for now, I guess. I think I'm doomed already. They've got everything they need. Just in the time that it took me to miss my land drop. Is there a way for me to trick my way out of this? I don't think there's a way out of this. They could just use Doppelgang on Invasion of Zendikar. Or on Invasion of Arcavios. Yeah, there we go. 2 more of those. Get another Doppelgang. They just pull it back from the graveyard, right? So then there's a negate, which they have up now. And so what do? I guess here's a spell that can't be countered, so we're done there. Yeah, don't have a way to counter this, so... They can just go fill their hand with whatever they want. Dissipate. And I have a way here to... Oh, hello. They have removal. Never mind. I was going to say, I had a way around that. So yeah, now they can do whatever they want. I guess we'll just do this. I think they're playing with their food. They just had the perfect start. How many lands do they have out now? I lost track of 12. Alright, yep. They're drawing so many cards, they're completely useless. They can counter anything that I do. Thank you, Arena. I won just enough times that you found the perfect deck that counters absolutely everything that I can do at any second. And you made sure that just in case I might have had a chance somewhere, you made sure I missed a land drop. While my hand was full. Just to kind of rub it in. Yeah, okay. Okay, Arena, could I have a game where I have a chance to win but people don't insta-scoop on me. Have I even used Atmosphere Surgeon before? I don't think I have. It looks like a card that's designed for limited. The people, when they design at Wizards of the Coast, when they're designing these decks, these new expansion sets, they have to keep in mind multiple audiences. They've gotten pretty good at thinking about limited because a lot of people play at the game stores. They play these drafts. So they don't think of just constructed. They think of both constructed cards and limited cards. And sometimes you can kind of tell when you're going to make a constructed deck, some cards just don't speak to you. And that's usually because they've been designed where they might do well in limited. But it's kind of tough to make them work in constructed. This isn't the worst thing if they kill Gwenna here. I'm kind of hoping that Halpak Piper would stay around. But let's go ahead and ramp first, because we could just cast Cleanup Crew directly this way. And we wouldn't necessarily spoil what's coming their way. Brass Forge, very common. Let's use Cleanup Crew for that. That way, if they have another one anytime soon, we can just use Besiege You. Now they have to have some other kind of removal besides Volt Charge. Take care of the heavy creature. Which is fine. Oh, they don't. They don't. So does this mean we'll get Xander out? Let's go ahead and attack here. Because this will get me Gwenna and my third. I'll get the Skyclave and it'll get me my third, so that if they get rid of Halpak Piper, I can still cast Xander with the other one. Okay, chump block in there, that's fine. Oil counters on. The Chimney Rabble don't do anything by themselves. Okay, here we go, Char Forger. They can do some extra card draw with that. Come on through. Okay, so I'm just gonna I'll bring down Halpak Piper. And then I'm gonna bring down Xander. And I haven't cast a spell. So they discard a card. And since I didn't cast a spell, I get 2 activations, one for each of the Halpak Pipers. In the meantime, they're going to chump block with the 1/1 again. And they could sacrifice this and get a card draw right away if they don't like their next card. But in the meantime, I get 2 activations as it turns to night. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Dusk Mangler is good. Things are looking so good right now. Yep, they need the card draw. They need to dig. They get the oil counters. They get the card draw from Furnace Skull Bomb, and then they get to remove 3 oil counters for another card draw, and they get another creature down. And another chump blocker. Am I ever going to get my Zendikar converted? Okay, let's try another Invasion of Zendikar. And they don't hang around for it. We did just have a little bit too much. I mean, they knew we had a Traxa in our hand. It is a fun deck, except for land starvation. And not that much tonight. It's performing quite nicely. I didn't get the spree card to use yet. Oh, we have a target for Besiege if we get Besiege coming around. They've got something they can cast right away, and we miss a land drop. Of course. And as soon as they play a land, they benefit. I know we were back with Zendikar. What are you doing using landfall? What are you plotting? Tumbleweed Wising? Oh, now we get the... Okay. We did finally get a land. It's a legendary plant. Look, they've got a lot of stuff they're building up to here. Let's go ahead and put down the Piper. Arena's actually done the opposite. Instead of burying my cards, they've given me too many of the things that I use to get everything else. And get everything else back. And my opponent is just taking all the time in the world to just set up as much as they feel like. That'll be 10-10. And they got to refill their hand while they did it. I think I'm dead. Well, they got 20 on the field. None of my cards will do anything against that. So despite having 23 creatures, they gave me only my ramp creatures and nothing else. And this has happened before. Just so you know, in the Hiddick, Sugo, and Carry deck, I used to have a very powerful card, and it dealt the very first card in my hand, opening draw, multiple times in a row, and then I get Hiddick, Sugo, and Carry down, and I'd have a one-turn kill. And eventually, Arena figured it out, and it stopped giving me the most expensive card in my hand. And that's kind of happened here just now. You see, what we had on all of our other battles was we'd have something really big. Sometimes we'd have 2, 3, or 4 of these really big cards in our opening hand. And instead, it didn't give me anything over 4. It gave me all the buildup. It gave me all the ramp stuff that we need to get into these bombs. And it gave me no bombs for the entire hand. So, a different way of Arena tricking me and burying things on me. That it's only done before. It's a variation on hiding the cards that I want, right? But the Magic Arena algorithm is configured to give you a very high mana costing card. Very high cost card, very early on. And sometimes it'll give you 2, 3, or 4 of them. There we go, we're back to normal. It can't do it forever. This is kind of our sweet spot. We got 3 of the 4 lands we need, and if Piper survives for just 1 turn, we get a bomb down. But black has removal, so we'll put Gwenna down first as our canary in the coal mine against removal. And hopefully sometime in the next couple of rounds, we get a 4th land draw. Ooh, multiple colors. Multiple ramp. They got 3 colors already. I get to discard 2 cards. Let's do that. Okay. We are not getting our land. So one way or the other, they either bury our bombs, they bury our ramp, or they land starve us. Meanwhile, our opponent has not missed a land drop, and they have every color that they need. And if they don't have it, they can get it. Oh, hello. They're going to make me discard some stuff. And we can bring down a Halpack Piper with Gwenna. Do they spend their time making us discard? I guess I throw away Invasion of Zendikar, right? Because I still don't have the land to cast it. They go for that. Okay, we'll get rid of this and we'll get rid of this. They might have 4 of these, so we might... Oh, hello! We finally got some stuff. Xander comes down because we want to make them discard 2 cards. How does it feel to have to discard? Doesn't feel good, does it? Cards. Cards has to get rid of half their cards. What's taking you so long? Oh, you're roping me. Look at this. Crystal. They had yet another land. And here are the dunes. They've got a recursive deck going on. Let's just go ahead and swing in with Gwenna. If they've got a recursive deck, that probably also means that they have board wipes. It also means that they probably have multiple ways to get the Ardent Elementalist back out of the graveyard onto the battlefield and then get more stuff. Sure, let's do a Hoarding Broodlord. Uh-huh. Did I mention they probably have board wipes? Yes, you do. I've made an Ardent Elementalist deck before. I know the battle plan. Ah, new Thunder Junction card. They get to draw a bunch of cards. We get to ramp. This will give us Titan of Industry next time. Sword of Wealth and Power. That's kind of gross. Kind of gross. I don't have anything that's 8/8. Sure. Oh, I have to do 2 of them? Okay. Alright, we'll destroy something, and we'll gain 5 life. Oh, come on. Come on, attack me. Compact Piper. Yeah, they know what's going on there. What happens if I just go ahead and start drawing cards? Second Ardent Elementalist. What do you get back? Another discard spell. Alright, I can't get my big creatures out now, so there they go. I can block you. Oh, they messed up. Oh, I messed up. Okay, what do I need to bring out? 6, 7, 8. Let me just pay for 6. Let's see what I get to select. We can search the graveyard. Koglan Yadaro? No. Grimnark. Yeah, Grimnark, because they have to discard a card. It was just a land. Little puke. Alright, yeah, let's go get this. I've got Trample, so they shouldn't want to block it. And we've got some time, so we don't care about the flyer right now. 15, 20... We've almost got lethal. Discover 4. This is perfect for getting us a Gwenna or... it doesn't matter where we search because we didn't cast anything for the X. So we just attack here. Go get another one. They could triple block, but I don't think they will. Which means we now have lethal. No matter what they do. Unless they remove something. Oh, it's legendary? Oh, I forgot it's legendary. Never mind, I'm stupid. This is my second time making a deck with Zalortha in it, and I'm still messing up on it. Well, I feel like we go ahead and attack. That's not enough to kill me. No. We do want to assign that damage to them. Oh, that was enough to kill me. Oh, it had double strike, that's why. Okay. I am not reading all these cards. There's so many cards now, I don't have them memorized anymore. Okay, that wasn't the greatest. It's not your turn, cards. It's my turn. Please let me have my turn. Okay. Assign damage as though it wasn't blocked. We're waiting. And all I did was flood out with a bunch of land. It doesn't matter, even with my mistakes. We still have big enough creatures and ways to evade their defense. It just doesn't matter. None of it matters. Alright, that was probably closer than it should have been. And I messed up at least twice. It's always a sign of a good deck when I keep winning even though I mess up. Alright, I feel like that's enough battles. I was trying to hang on there and just see if we could get our new card in there. And just play Smuggler's Surprise, but maybe I'll keep the deck around and play with it some more. Alright, so there you have it. We did one big green monster. Now we did multicolor other monsters with only green mana. We've gone back and forth, up and down the color pie, and I have twisted it and bended it in many different ways that I could think of. Let me know what you think of the deck. Remember to like and subscribe. As always, for this opening, as I go ahead and get used to this new recording software and my new setup, leave me a little feedback. Let me know, at least one of you, how the sound level's coming through on this recording. And I'll catch y'all next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.